All right, gang, how we doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new series in which we are going to be covering all the latest speculation, leaks, news, and updates in the world of Pokemon, but in this kind of format, something that's a little bit more easier to produce, and we can actually react to stuff within at least 24 hours, I suppose, of kind of major news in the main series of Pokemon emerging. Now, for anybody worried, we are not going to be stopping the other more kind of premium curated content that we do on the channel. Those, believe it or not, take around 2 to 3 days in production. We are in the process of getting an editor, which I think I found my guy and I'm very, very excited. He seems like a really, really cool dude. But with that aside, we are going to be getting into the latest Pokemon leak. So let's jump into the latest piece of news. And here we have a 4K screenshot of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet running on the Switch 2 after the day 1 Switch 2 patch that is anticipated for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So if you are a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet player, you should be able to upgrade the game for free if you get the Switch 2, and this is what it's going to look like. And this is kind of hilarious. I think I'll be able to pull out the clip actually, but when we first got our hands on Scarlet and Violet and played it in a stream series on the channel, one of the first things that I said was, I love this game, but I can already tell it needs a HD remaster. It's just not quite finished. And yes, it certainly did instantly need an HD remake or revamp afterwards, but this is actually better than that because we're getting 4K, and as you can see, the main thing that a lot of people have been talking about here is that there are a lot of Pokemon rendered and able to be rendered on the screen at any one time. You can see, I'm not going to count, but there's something like 15 Pokemon on the screen, maybe even 20, including right in the background, there is a Tropius rendered, I want to say, maybe about like 40, 50, 60 feet away from the main character, which is very unusual. Normally in Scarlet and Violet on the base Switch version, the Pokemon are kind of rendered very close to you for one thing, and you kind of have to move around, and they'll always kind of spawn in, I want to say maybe like a 15-20 foot radius of the character, and this is just not that. This is essentially Game Freak and the Pokemon Company actually being able to execute the game they kind of half had in mind when they actually designed Scarlet, if not for the perceived limitations of the base Nintendo Switch. So this is actually very exciting, and I was actually speaking to chat the other day on stream, and I was saying this is going to make Scarlet and Violet actually be remembered as a solid game. The taste that's going to be left in our mouths once we transition from Gen 9 to Gen 10, or even from Scarlet and Violet to Legend ZA, actually, really. That recency bias is going to make us, I guess, remember Scarlet and Violet looking a lot better than it did for 2 or 3 years after it first came out. Now, I must say this game still doesn't look that good comparatively to what I think we're going to end up on when the Switch 2 life cycle is kind of coming to its close. I think the potential for this console is going to be huge. I think 4K Pokemon, some of the, not just cinematics, but in-game kind of moments and actions and things that they can program the Pokemon in the wild to do, the trainers, and just even look at this screenshot right here. You can see actually a full city with lights rendered in much more high definition than the base Switch version. It's the same sort of thing here. And again, lots and lots of Pokemon on screen at the time. So straight off the bat, just by getting a Nintendo Switch 2, you are going to be able to experience a much higher res and higher frame rate, we think as well, version of Scarlet and Violet, which is going to be huge. It's just going to make the quality of this game and the experience of playing it so much better. And if you watch a video, one of the more premium videos that I've got coming out on the channel very, very soon in the next few days, you will hear me talk about that I think this game was potentially designed originally for the Switch 2 anyway, and then I think it's very possible that Nintendo actually pushed back the release date of the Switch 2, and that's why we ended up getting the Switch version of Scarlet and Violet as well as the Switch version of Legend ZA. Both of those two Gen 9 games are going to end up having versions for both Switch 1 and Switch 2, which is very interesting. And I actually think this is a great thing because it accommodates people that are going to be getting the Switch 2 on launch day, and they're going to see a tangible improvement, not just backwards compatibility, but actual enhancement of the way the game looks, runs, plays, feels. It's just going to be a better experience. But at the same time, you don't have to worry. If you want to play with the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the base Switch, like you always have, you can. You still have full connectivity. There's no restrictions if you can or only want to play it on the Switch 1 until, I guess, you upgrade if you want to. So this is huge news. We've already seen the potential of 4K Pokemon in some of the quick clips that we got in the last Nintendo Direct, where they announced that Legend ZA is going to come in a Switch 2 version as well, and that looked phenomenal by comparison to what we got with Scarlet and Violet. The frame rate, the smoothness, the render quality, it all looks very, very positive for the future of Pokemon. And next up, we have what appears to be some leaked images of the Black Bolt and White Flare Pokemon TCG set. You can see 4 cards here. We've got the Beheeyem, we've got the Pawniard, the Jellicent EX, which it looks kind of nice, and the Full Art Fennel Supporter Trainer card. And this looks to me to be legit. This is from the Centro Leaks X page, which you guys probably know that Centro can be a bit hit and miss with the how reliable they are with this kind of news, but this to me appears to be legit. You can see the pack there in pretty high resolution. You can see all these cards and it does look legit. Now everybody knows that Black Bolt and White Flare are the upcoming TCG sets. This begs the question, why? Were there meant to be corresponding games in the main series instead of Legend ZA that were to release alongside or maybe slightly after the black and white Pokemon TCG set? It would make a lot of sense, right? And again, I'm going to be talking about this in my next kind of major premium upload if you want, but this definitely stinks of Pokemon having to change their plans at the last minute, and I think it's very indicative that Black and White were meant to have games coming out or remakes coming out around about now, but that's kind of besides the point here. I just wanted to give you guys a look at the TCG cards that have apparently been leaked, and they look pretty nice, although I still don't think they're as nice as the kind of retro Wizards of the Coast ones with the quality of the holo foil and all that kind of stuff, but still looking great for TCG fans. And lastly, as confirmed yesterday by the Cerebi X page, we do have the continuation of the 7-star Terra Raid battle events in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the next one is yet another pseudo-legendary Pokemon. This is continuing in the trend. I think we had a Metagross and a Salamence as the last few, and now we have Garchomp, which runs from May the 23rd through to May the 25th in the first week, and the second week is going to run from May the 30th to June the 1st. Now, we are going to be streaming this on Friday, so if you do want to come and hang and maybe get in a lobby where we are going to be taking on this 7-star Garchomp to catch it for ourselves, then I would absolutely love it if you came through to the stream on Friday evening. So subscribe to the channel, guys, leave a like if you're excited for the new series, and tell me all your thoughts down in the comments below. We are going to be entering an era of the channel now where there's going to be much more frequent content, and of course we're entering the Nintendo Switch 2 era in literally just over 2 weeks now, which is incredibly exciting. So if you are excited for this series, if you're excited for the Switch 2, and if you have any requests, of course, of games you want to see me play, cover on the channel, then please leave all of your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.